I'm Kevin Spiritu from Epic Gardening, and we're talking paths. Our team, with the help of Home Depot, is out in Maine transforming this beautiful homestead property. They've got the garden in, they've got some accessory builds done, but you've gotta figure out how to work in that space, how to get to a specific spot.
Back at the homestead, pathways make our garden usable and easy to access. And that's the exact idea we're bringing out to Maine. This is From Scratch.
Today is all about beautifying the space and creating pathways in the main garden. We also have containers to plant that are really going to frame out some of the different projects going on. The outdoor kitchen frame and pergola are going up, and we'll also be planting around the pathway to help define it even more. We were just talking, and like all those giant boulders we dug up, they could be little statement pieces.
They can be like in
memory of the struggles of this garden.
Giant boulders, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know.
Yeah, giant boulders.
Giant.
For Californians, okay?
You must be a fisherman.
All right. Are we making a list? Yeah. Fire up the Home Depot.
I've got half the list. Compressor, white gravel, landscape staples. We say potting soil already?
Yep.
Okay. Go team.
All right. Let's get it.
So the saga continues. We're on our way to Home Depot right now to pick up all of those materials that we need for today. So let's get driving and pick those things up. You don't know this about me already. Home Depot's a little bit of a pastime. I do like to spend time walking through the aisles, finding new things. But
Hey,
right
me
now-
too, man. Me too.
But we've got things to do. So this is where the app comes in really handy.
Yeah, what aisle are we going?
We're going to aisle 48 and bay 11.
All right, let's go hit it.
Let's get to it. We've got some of the soil loaded up onto this cart. Now we got to get onto the gravel. So we've got quite the load going on right now. We have a box full of miscellaneous things, the sink for the outdoor kitchen, and then we've got Pro Mix in here, some extra bulbs down there, and as we come along, we've got the rental and some additional Pro Mix. We're really putting this minivan to work. We've got everything that we need. Big shout out to Mark at the Pro Desk. Without his help, this would not have happened. And so we're gonna get on the way, unload everything, and get right back to work.
Well, Gray, welcome to Maine. A beautiful morning here for you today. And today we're all about pathways. Now we're going to do a lot of different paths in the main garden area, but first I'd love to hear your thoughts on what a path even means to you.
I mean, one, functionality, access to your garden, but then two, an aesthetic aspect, because it really shows that intentionality that, hey, I'm meant to do this.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different ways to do it, and also ways to break up your space and draw people into different interesting parts of your garden.
The base level for all of our pathways will be wood chip mulch. Once that mulch is spread out, we will define the entryways to the garden using large plants and planted out containers. This allows us to then put down a proper paver path. We're also going to dig out a walkway between the main garden and the pergola straight up to the outdoor kitchen. But there is one little problem here, and that's this right over here. See this guy?
Yeah.
Turns out in Maine, they're really good at growing rocks, and they sprout right out of the soil. So everywhere we dig, there's gonna be a few of those. So what's our kind of step here? What are we gonna do first?
Well, we're just gonna dig right into it like a good old archaeological dig.
So we're gonna dig out all this grass, get all the rocks out of here, get this leveled, and then we'll figure out the path. So I think we need to grab some shovels.
Yeah, let's dig into it.
Let's do it.
Since we're filling this space with mulch, we don't need to dig down too deep. We're going for 2 to 3 inches, so we're using a combination of digging tools, including shovels, pitchforks, and weeding hose.
Well, this looks like fun.
Yeah,
Seems
we're
like
almost
you guys,
done, right?
Seems like you guys have this totally handled. I think I'll just go have lunch.
Another day in Maine. Another pebble.
Oh yeah, just a pebble, just a wee bit.
The basic goal here is to break up existing grass and weeds, which loosens their roots, making them easy to remove.
See, this is why I don't have a gym membership. Who needs a gym membership when you garden?
You got the garden.
Commercial support tomato.
Yeah.
And since we're chopping up the soil pretty roughly and removing some boulders, we decided to tamp it all down at the end to remove any soft pockets or holes which aren't so fun on the ankles.
You got this, or you want some help?
Oh, come on in here, brother. the more the merrier.
I'm actually gonna go forward some logs so we can use them as edging, natural edging for the pathways.
Okay, Chia-Ming, I
There
got
goes
this for
Mel.
you.
All right, got our wood. Let's go back.
Because this section had mature grass growing, we decided to use weed cloth under this portion of the path. This should block new growth while still allowing water to drain through instead of pooling.
Oh, Chia-Ming, put it down.
Yeah.
The outdoor kitchen build is one of the most complex projects of this garden transformation. We started out with a mixed ground surface of cement, mulch, and gravel, added a deck, and now we are adding a pergola to go over the kitchen that will match the main garden pergola we plan on building. Z and the team have been working with Chia-Ming to make this build functional for the space and the harsh climate of Maine. We wanted to get the pergola up before framing out the kitchen so we wouldn't have to worry about damaging the kitchen itself while working on the pergola. As for materials, we're using thick, pressure-treated wood and gave the roof a slope over the kitchen. That way, if Mel and Pete wanted to, they could easily add a roof and make this entire kitchen rainproof.
All right, I'm gonna sneak away and check on this kitchen. This digging thing, I don't know. Whew.
Yeah, so once the pergola went up, that next step is framing out the kitchen, which is what we're working on right now.
Okay.
So this is gonna be a bar seating area, some stools here.
What kind of countertop are we putting in?
We're gonna go with a heavy duty porcelain tile that can just live outside, and right now I'm trying to get all the dimensions from the framing to the tile to the trim and make our lives easy with fewer cuts.
Fewer cuts, less waste, perfect. I'll leave you guys to it.
So we're gonna do this planter that's right in front of the kitchen here. And I wanna keep this pretty low maintenance. I mean, there's a lot of containers around here. We don't need a ton of maintenance every year. So we're gonna stick with primarily things that will come back. So I'm just gonna do sort of simple alternating plan here. We're gonna do 3 spireas here, and this is the same spirea we've used in containers around the deck here. We're gonna alternate that with a miscanthus. So we'll get some ornamental grasses in here. And then we're gonna fill in the front with a little bit of annual color, which in this case is gonna be flowering kale. We'll just line those up so we get a little bit of annual color, and then the rest of this comes back every year, so you don't have to worry about it. When I'm planting containers, I like to start by thinking about the light and water needs of different plants. Choosing plants with similar needs makes it much easier to maintain a container. Good drainage is also key, so in addition to making sure that there's drainage holes in a container, you want a nice quality potting mix. Then all you need to do is water them in well when you're finished planting.
Now that we've cleared the ground, the next step is to bring in mulch, which will really make these pathways take shape, and it's actually surprising how many benefits there are to mulch besides just the aesthetics.
It really ties everything together, a nice visual consistency, and it really delineates where you want people to walk and where you don't want them to walk. But for me as a gardener, I'm also thinking of the soil benefits that you get out of it. This will help retain moisture in your soil, reducing your water usage. It'll reduce the amount of weeds that actually sprout and germinate, and it will break down over time to help build up your soil life. Even if you have raised beds, you still want to work on the soil around that area because eventually those plant roots will get down into there, and anything you could do to help will benefit you in the long run.
That's so much better than doing it manually with the shovel. So I'm planting lavender and Russian sage around the center ring to make it a focal point of this main garden. And also it kind of makes a pathway naturally around, and it's not just a pile of mulch.
Hey Chia-Ming, I heard you were doing some bulb planting over here. Okay, so it looks like you got some alliums that you're laying out there. Should we lay those out and then we'll work some tulips in there too?
Sure.
There's always information on the packages about how deep to plant them. Okay. So you've got it down already. And you can always like dig the hole or just sink them in.
Oh yeah, we have these.
Whatever works for you.
And then what about spacing?
So I don't even worry about spacing too much, to be honest. Should I just put some of the irises around the edge here?
Yeah.
You can work on those. I'll get some of these in. These are little guys. Oh, and there's usually a little root end, and then there's a pointy end. And so you always want to make sure to have the pointy end up. And I especially love adding the bulbs in because sometimes you sort of forget about them, and then you've got this beautiful display and you're like, okay, that was all worth it.
Yeah, and you did the hard work months ago.
Exactly.
And now you get to just enjoy it.
Right, right.
While the rest of the team wraps up the mulch paths in the garden, I'm getting started on the greenhouse pathways. To really upgrade the space, we're adding a paver patio secured with metal edging. It's a great way to lock in the stonework and keep everything in place long term. I'm using an angle grinder to cut the edging to size so that the patio fits perfectly within the footprint of the greenhouse.
Jacques doesn't know it yet. I'm making him a rock garden with all these rocks he dug up. Let's go. Last one. Love it.
We opted to use burlap as the weed barrier under the pathway pavers in the garden itself. It's a natural alternative to weed cloth and allows air and water to penetrate the soil, which is amazing for long-term soil health.
All right, so we just got the entry pathway all figured out. The pavers are set in the gravel, and we have the pathway going all the way up across the garden, and it's gonna split halfway through the middle. We're setting them 6 inches apart, staggering them a little bit, and it's gonna look really good when we're done. All right.
Yes, perfect.
There.
Look at that.
Now we're going to just add more mulch on top to make sure each stone is flush and level to the rest of them. That way you never trip when you're walking through the garden.
All right, so you have something to show me?
I do. I know you've been working so hard on digging all the holes we needed for the fences and the posts, and you had so many rocks. You're a rock lover. So I used your rocks and made a little ring.
That's awesome.
This is your Jacques rock garden. And you just kind of place it. You got all the different rocks. I know you're the
You
expert.
can see some of the auger hits right there.
There you
A little bit
go.
of character.
A little mark, that's the Jacques mark right
Maybe the
there.
pry bar. Yeah, this came out absolutely epic.
Here are a few tips, tricks, and takeaways we picked up. Start with a simple base. Clear vegetation and level the ground before adding any path material. Define the edges. Pavers, containers, or planted borders help keep materials in place and create some visual structure. Choose forgiving materials. Mulch is easy to install, easy to adjust, and improves the soil over time, ideal for first-time paths. Today's tool of the day is the Husky 16-tine bow rake. This is such a versatile tool for any gardener and came in clutch for us both in clearing the land and spreading mulch. I am so happy with how the garden paths and containers turned out. We decided to replace the logs along the walkway with rocks because we just have so many of them. Now I see why so many properties in Maine have rock walls. There are so many rocks in the soil here, which creates some great opportunities to incorporate them into your design. Next up, we're going to be putting our new paver skills to the test and adding some new features for a true greenhouse makeover.
And don't forget to check out the description below for a full list of linked tools and materials we used for this project.
I'm not moving it. This one is here to stay.